Ojoburudele, Shibonkaku. I am a pagan. Yes, I am a pagan. Who is a pagan? A pagan is that village man. A pagan is that village woman. Who is a pagan? A pagan is someone who does things in a cultural way. A pagan is someone who is natural in everything he or she does. A pagan is someone who is doing things based on his traditional, his origin, based on the way where he was born, everything where you belong, where you came from. A pagan is someone who identifies himself with his own people and does things in the way of his people. A pagan is someone who does not practice religion. A pagan is someone who identifies and recognizes his or her ancestors. A pagan is that person that I am. I am a pagan. Yes, I am not religious. I am a pagan. Are you a pagan? Who is a pagan? A pagan is someone who rejects foreign attitude. A pagan is someone who is doing things based on his traditional, on his origin of birth, based on the way he was born, where he was born, everything where you belong, where you came from. A pagan is someone who identifies himself with his own people and does things in the way of his people. A pagan is someone who does not practice religion. A pagan is someone who identifies and recognizes his or her ancestors. A pagan is that person who cannot be colonized. A pagan is someone who is not a sellout. A pagan is that person that you think is evil, but in actual sense, the person is not evil. Pagan is not demonic because somebody in a war, somebody is the diabolic, doing charm, doing poison, killing people, doing all manner of evil. It doesn't mean that the person is a pagan. Somebody who is not going to church, is not going to mosque, is not practicing religion with you. A pagan is that village person that you know. That person that you call villager. That person is a real pagan. That word pagan or paganism means someone who identifies himself with his people, with his culture, original culture, with his tradition, original tradition, identify himself with his ancestors. Somebody, you as a Christian, you identify people in the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Matthew, Matthias, many of them, you identify them as your ancestors. But that is not paganism. Because why? You are identifying strangers, people you do not know, as your ancestors. You have removed yourself from paganism. You are not practicing religion. But when you leave religion and come to paganism, you are not identifying your own ancestors. Your ancestor is your grandfather that is dead. If your father is dead, your father is your ancestor. Your great-grandfathers, those your lineage where you came from, count your lineage, those people that are dead, that you come from that lineage, those are your ancestors. That is when you become a real pagan. That is when you become the real. Let me now ask you, you that is listening to me, do you have a village? You may be living in the city. You live in the city, in the town. But is there a place where you come from? Those places you see as a bushy area. You come from a village, isn't it? You come from a village. Your father come from a place. Your grandfather come from a place. Your great-grandfather come from a place. Therefore, you come from a place, even though you are living in the city. You are living in the town. You are in the city. We are living in a 20-something story building, but you come from a place. When you die today, where will you be buried? You must be taken home, back home, where you come from. The place called village. That is what makes you pagan. As far as you have a village, you are a pagan. If you like, be a religious person. If you like, be carrying your Bible. If you like, be carrying your Quran. As far as you have a place where you come from, you are a pagan because you are what? You are a villager. Let me ask you another thing. When the year is rounding up, and we call it December, do you prepare for Christmas? Do you plan to travel for Christmas? Some days in the middle of the year, you plan for Easter, right? You travel for Easter. Where do you travel to? To the village. The moment you plan to travel to village, and at the end of the day, you see yourself land in the village. As soon as you land in the village, the moment you see yourself in the village, you automatically become a pagan immediately. Because a pagan is that person that sees himself in the village. And you identify that village as your village, and of a truth that village is your village. You are a pagan, originally a pagan. So if you like, let the Bible confuse you that a paganism or somebody who is a pagan is evil, or because the person do not practice that thing you are practicing. After practicing that, you still come back to your paganism. Whether you like it or not, after death you'll be taken back to your village as a pagan, and you'll be buried like a pagan. So a pagan is that village person. I am a village person. You are a village person. If you have a village in this life, you are a pagan. You can't deny that fact. Nothing can clean that thing from your body. You are a pagan. So whenever I see you, I look at you as a pagan who is denying his paganism to forge himself with another religion, a strange religion. But at the end of the day, you will still be taken back home, whether alive or dead. You'll be taken back home as a pagan and be buried like a pagan. Do you understand this? So from today, I want you to start seeing yourself as a pagan, and I want you to start seeing paganism as not evil, but originality of you. Who are you? You are Chukwuemeka from Omak village, a son of so man, a grandson of so man, a great-grandson of so man. When you describe yourself as this person, you have described yourself successfully as a pagan, original pagan. So paganism or pagan is not evil. Pagan is not evil. Pagan is the identity of a village person. The person who identifies himself with his village, with his origin, with his land, with his ancestors, with his father, with his mother, with his blood, with his lineage. That is what a pagan is. Another way, a pagan is that person who does things natural way. A pagan is somebody who worship nature, using nature. You use nature to worship nature. The way you are now, you are a natural man, you are a natural human being, isn't it? Then you worship nature with nature. You are nature, you worship nature. Nature made everything to be. You must worship that thing that made everything to be, which is nature. Nature comes from nature. Well, nature must worship nature. That is what paganism means. So remove the tautological teaching and belief about pagan from you. From today, you are a pagan. Whether you are in church, whether you are anywhere, you are a pagan. Village person. Ojo Brudele. Shibon Kaku.